A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 4, verses 16 to 30. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. He came to Nazareth where he had been raised. As he always did on the Sabbath, he went on the meeting place. When he stood up to read, he was handed the scroll of the prophet Isaiah. Unrolling the scroll, he found the place where it was written, "God's Spirit is on me. He has chosen me to preach the message of good news to the poor. Send me to announce pardon to prisoners and recovery of sight to the blind, to set the burdened and battered free, to announce this is God's time to shine." He rolled up the scroll, handed it back to the assistant, and sat down. Every eye in the place was on him, intent. Then he started in. "You have just heard Scripture make history. It came true just now in this place." All who were there watching and listening were surprised at how well he spoke. But they also said, "Isn't this Joseph's son, the one we have known since he was just a kid?" He answered, "I suppose you are going to quote the proverb, 'Doctor, go heal yourself. Do here in your hometown what we heard you did in Capernaum.' Well, let me tell you something. No prophet is ever welcomed in his hometown. Isn't it a fact that there were many widows in Israel at the time of Elijah during that 3.5 years of drought when famine devastated the land? But the only widow to whom Elijah was sent was in Sarepta in Sidon. And there were many lepers in Israel at the time of the prophet Elisha. But the only one cleansed was Naaman the Syrian." That set everyone in the meeting place seething with anger. They threw him out, banishing him from the village, then took him to a mountain cliff at the edge of the village to throw him to his doom. But he gave them a slip and was on his way. The Gospel of the Lord. Good morning, I am Father Joscuti Matthew and this is Coffee with God. Let us now listen to a short reflection on the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 4, verses 16 to 30. A Jubilee Year. Today marks the start of our reading from the Gospel of Luke, which will last for 3 months until the end of the liturgical year. The Gospel for today discusses Jesus' visit to Nazareth and his presentation of his life proposal to the people in the synagogue. Initially, the people were astonished. However, as soon as they realized that Jesus intended to embrace everyone without excluding anyone, they became rebellious and sought to kill him. In the Gospel of Luke, we should remember that the author was addressing a community of gentile converts who were unfamiliar with Jewish customs. He introduces Jesus to his listeners as the Son of God, whose mission was to reveal God's merciful and liberating face to humanity. The book of Deuteronomy states that every 7 years should be observed as the Jubilee Year, during which the land is returned to its original owners. This practice was established to ensure that everyone could reclaim their property, preventing the concentration of land in the hands of a few and safeguarding the livelihood of families. It was an opportunity provided by God to identify and rectify any errors and start anew. Jesus initiated his teachings by announcing a jubilee, a year of the Lord's favor. Jesus articulates his mission using Isaiah's prophecy to bring the good news to the poor, freedom for those imprisoned, sight to the blind, to set free the oppressed, and to declare a year of the Lord's favor, Jesus announces the Jubilee Year. Jesus quotes the text of Isaiah up to the point where it says, to proclaim a year of grace from the Lord, without quoting the remainder of the sentence, which includes, and a day of vengeance from our God. When Jesus presents himself as the Messiah who embraces the marginalized and rejects the concept of a day of vengeance against the oppressors of Israel, the people of Nazareth react by throwing stones at him. Individuals' expectations of their priests and preachers can be quite high. Some may believe that a skilled evangelist should not cause discomfort or stir up controversy, but always speak in a way that pleases the listeners. However, the evangelist's objective is not to cater to people's preferences. Instead, they are called to proclaim the message of Christ, not merely what people anticipate hearing.